Hey friends, happy Thursday! Miss Kate is sitting outside today enjoying the beautiful spring weather we have. It's still spring, you can tell. It's nice and chilly in the morning. But once that sun comes up, you can feel the sun and it gets a little warmer throughout the day. It's been windy out here, I've noticed. But definitely the birds are out chirping. I'm still seeing some signs of spring in my yard. In fact, right now I see some daffodils that I'm hoping are gonna blossom soon so that we can take another walk around my yard and look for some more flowers. But I thought today we could look at some of the spring books that Miss Kate has. I did bring a few home with me, which is really cool because I have been looking at them. These are books that I love to read to you guys. I really miss that part of my day. Reading to you guys every day is a really fun time for me. So I thought I would share some book titles with you and show you the books. And you know, parents, if you wanna, you can always look up the titles on YouTube. There's plenty of read alouds done a lot of times by authors or people who have the copyright ability to read on YouTube. Right now I don't. So I'm gonna hopefully get some other options started in the next couple of weeks or next week, work on where I can read on a platform, and when I figure that out, I will let you know. But until then, you know, there's Audible, there's a ton, there's just a great YouTube search for read alouds, many different sources for books. There's also Epic Learning that I'm gonna set up for you guys next week. That's another great thing that I learned about. So there's lots of great stuff coming your way in terms of books. But for now, I figured I would just show you these books because they're books that, you know, some of my friends who have been with me in the past spring season might be familiar with. And they're just really great books. So here's a little pile that I have. So the first book I have is Surprising Spring. So there's our title. And remember, when we look at books, we always want to find the title. Surprising Spring. And then down here we have the author when it says by. So it's by Jennifer Marino Walters. And then illustrated by, that's the person who makes the pictures, John Nez. So this is just it's a nice short book. So it's not very big. One thing Miss Kate loves about it is just how great the pictures are. There's not a lot of words, but there's some really good communication that can happen in here. Lots of times we do shared reading, where instead of even reading the words, we'll talk about what we see in the picture. And that's a great activity, parents, you can do with your students, with your children while you're home right now. Just kind of look through, what do you see, what do they see? So this is a great book for that. Not very overwhelming. Just a really enjoyable book that Miss Kate loves called Surprising Spring. So there's one book that I brought home that I enjoy reading. I have another book called It's Spring, and this is a series. There's It's Spring, It's Summer, It's Winter, It's Fall. So we read these year-round in our classroom. And again, friends, It's Spring. There's our title right there. It's Spring. And the person who wrote this was Linda Glasser. The illustrations in this are really cool. They're cut paper. So it's cut paper illustrations by Susan Swan, which is really cool. And one of the neat things about this book are just how beautiful the illustrations really are. And again, it's good for listening, parents. It's not a very wordy. I know lots of times sitting for extended periods of times with lots of words can be frustrating for your children and my students. So I like to pick books that have, you know, good meaning, good words, great pictures, just all that great stuff to attend. And again, you can easily do, instead of what you're reading, like, what are you seeing on this page? Like, you know, I see the boy, looks like he's making a wish on a dandelion, like all sorts of stuff like that. And the pictures in this book really make it kind of pop. It's like 3D. So It's Spring is a great book from our classroom library. And like I said, we do have all the other ones. We have spring, winter, fall, summer. So it's just something that you guys might be used to. There's some great YouTube read alouds of this one. So again, that was It's Spring, another fun book I have. This next book is a fun book that we usually read when it rains. Today is a nice, beautiful, sunny day, and there are definitely no puddles, no worms out, So probably not a book we'd read today, but look guys, I brought home Warm Weather. Warm Weather is a fun book that we like to read a lot in our room. It's got some great pictures. It's got some great rhythm to it. So Warm Weather is the title right up here, Warm Weather. And then it's by Gene Taft. So Gene Taft wrote the words. And Matt Hunt drew the pictures. He's the illustrator. So this is just a fun book. It's very playful. It's very imaginative. And what I like about this is it's a lot of actions. Like the boots jump, which is really kind of cool. And this is a great what doing book we call. So you can kind of look through pictures after you've read it and like ask your kids like, oh, what do you see? You know, what's going on here? This is a great page. There's great core language in books like this. Like right here, open. The door is gonna open. You know, we need to open it. Just lots of that core language that we always look for, and it is everywhere in books. And just again, some more really fun drawings, short little words. This is a great book. And friends, I'm gonna try and get Miss Patty videotaped on Zoom reading this book for you guys, because I know this is one that Miss Patty likes to read. And I know you guys love when Miss Patty reads, and so does Miss Kate. So Warm Weather, ooh, bee just flew by. Warm Weather is another really fun book that Miss Kate loves to bring out in spring, especially those rainy days in spring, because that's when we see those worms. Another book that Miss Kate really likes for spring, I have In the Tall, Tall Grass, which is a great book. It's the same author, Denise Fleming. We also read a lot In the Small, Small Pond. In the Small, Small Pond still happens to be in the classroom. This is one that I just happen to still have at home because, guys, Miss Kate got a new book. Well, new to us. And it's a hardcover. How cool. We got another book for the library at school. So, oops. It's getting windy. My umbrella's getting in the way. So In the Tall, Tall Grass is a great book. It's got some nice pictures. It's a great book to really captivate the kids. Another what doing, like what do you see? It's got some good rhythm and rhyming in it. So In the Tall, Tall Grass and In the Small, Small Pond are two great books to check out as a YouTube read aloud, or any other platform that you could find. That's one that I would highly recommend. And then this last book that I brought with me, Miss Kate found this book last year and I love it, guys. We read it quite a bit. We did a lot with it. It's called Mama Built a Little Nest. And it's a really great book, parents. It talks about, okay, things are just blowing here, guys, sorry. It talks about all the different birds and the kind of nests that they have. It's a little more lengthy, but before I open it, I just want to show you again. Mama Built a Little Nest, and then Jennifer Ward is the author, so she's the person who wrote it, and then our illustrator is Steve Jenkins. Sorry guys, Miss Kate has a umbrella and it was tied up but the wind blew it apart. How silly, right? So it's really cool. Each page has a little poem type section, a nice rhythm reading, and then for whatever bird it talks about or how they describe the nest that they're reading about, it gives some good information on the next page, some real life information about the bird. So this was about hummingbirds, and then it talks about hummingbirds over here. So Mama Built a Little Nest is a great book. This is another one I would highly recommend seeing if you could find a read aloud of. Once I figure out how I can do read alouds from home for you guys, this is one that I really want to start with, and we're going to get into some spring stuff in the next few weeks. You know, with spring we talk a lot about nests and birds, and with Easter coming up, eggs, all that kind of stuff. So this is a great book, and maybe Miss Kate will reference it in a few lessons coming up, who knows. So again, these are just some great books, guys. Miss Kate is still reading books at home. It's not as fun without you guys, I promise. I miss you guys, and I miss reading to you, but hey, you know, I grabbed a few books from school, and I thought, why not show them to you guys, because books are great. They're everywhere. Literature is everywhere in our daily life. And anytime you guys feel like you want to check for some books, go right ahead. You have books at home, you know, use your home library. Miss Kate usually does more themed stuff. So in the spring we read about spring, but if you want to read about a winter book or a fall book, anything, you know, I'm never going to stop you guys from reading. So these are just some awesome books that I wanted to show you that I enjoy. And other than that, I'm going to get going for today. I have to plug my iPad in, actually. It keeps popping up to tell me that it needs to be charged. So just wanted to share my books with you guys and just say hey, let you guys know I'm thinking about you every day. I miss you guys a lot, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye, friends.